biology teacher at her school. She nodded. They were doing a cool project on soil. Her mother chimed in that Diane preferred microorganisms to people. So my first meeting with Hilary ended, neither of us knowing the part we already played in each other's lives. In the months following my father's death, I missed him in every way imaginable. I also found myself, as I had not since Marcus was born, with odd stretches of time, sometimes as long as half an hour, when I had no immediate task, and in those empty intervals I also missed surgery. The week after I saw Diane, I met with a patient to discuss his cataract operation. As I held out my model eye, 12 times life-size, and explained how the new lens would be folded to fit through a small incision in the sclera, and then unfolded behind the pupil, I wished that I were the one sliding the lens into place. I put the feeling away to examine later, and drove to Windy Hill. In the decades since she inherited the farm, Claudia's great-aunt had sold off most of the land, but the stables were still surrounded by fields and woods. The nearest neighbour, half a mile away, was a fancy farm stand and nursery. As I drove up the hill to the barn, several of the horses grazing in the paddocks on either side raised their heads. I recognized Dow Jones, the bay Viv used to ride in competitions. I parked in my usual spot beside the row of horse trailers. In the large field, half a dozen riders were circling under Claudia's instruction. "Shoulders back, Louis," I heard her call. I was searching for the slouching rider when a flash of white caught my peripheral vision. During my years with Viv, I have, inadvertently, learned a good deal about Equus caballus. Horses have been domesticated for over 6,000 years. They appear in early cave paintings at Lascaux and Pêche-Merle. The wealthy King Croesus had a soothsayer who described the horse as a warrior and a foreigner, and another king, I forget his name, was buried surrounded by a dozen stuffed horses. Until the 20th century, horses fought on many battlefields and were part of most people's daily lives. They have the largest eyes of any land mammal and are blessed with both binocular and monocular vision. Historically, horses are divided by a kind of class system. Hard-working horses, cart horses and plough horses, are described as cold-blooded. Racehorses, thoroughbreds and Arabians, are hot-blooded. Those in between, the warm-blooded horses, are bred to combine the best of the other two. Mercury, true to his name, was unmistakably hot-blooded. The lines of his body, the arch of his neck, the rise and fall of his stride were, I agreed with Viv reluctantly, beautiful. I was so absorbed in watching him that I paid no heed to his rider until, nearing the fence, she waved. Then I recognized Diane's mother. Turning back to the circling ponies, I saw that the girl on the brown pony, not quite trotting, was my patient, minus her carefully chosen glasses. Besides the indoor arena, the stables consist of a large barn that houses most of the stalls, a tack room, a feed room, and the office, and a smaller building that houses additional stalls and storerooms. Inside the barn, I made my way to the office, a modest room furnished with various cast-offs. My mother donated the red curtains and the table and chairs. I contributed 2 filing cabinets that Mary wanted to replace, and a coffee maker. That afternoon, Marcus and Trina were working at opposite ends of the table, Marcus on homework, Trina on an elaborate drawing. "Hi, Daddy," they said. "How was your patient?" added Marcus. He has Viv's fair colouring, but his high forehead, straight eyebrows, and slightly blocky nose are, according to my mother, a direct throwback to my namesake, Uncle Donald. He is an ardent swimmer, and almost always smells faintly of chlorine. "My patient was all right," I said. He liked knowing about his surgery. Some people do, some people don't. "Which are you?" Trina reached for another crayon. Small for her age, pale-skinned and dark-haired, she is the barometer of our house.